All right, welcome new followers, and I can't wait to share this message with you today. All right, so messages from the heart, Holy Spirit-led message, myth or real? So as a person that is extremely interested in history, and I love history, I was really drawn to Greek mythology as well, and I studied on it quite a bit. Now, what always bothered me while studying Greek mythology or learning about Greek mythology was that how could these people that were so smart, that we hold so high in esteem for all their accomplishments and everything, how could these people worship gods or so-called gods that weren't real, that were just made up? So it always bothered me, and I always thought there had to be some kind of real aspect to it. Hope you all don't think I'm crazy, but what God has showed me in the Bible and has opened my eyes to, it's real, folks. So Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 2. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. So here I don't believe that the sons of God are just men, because why would it say men had daughters and differentiate between the two? That men had daughters, but the sons of God saw they were fair and beautiful, and came down to marry them. Then it says that in verse 4 that there were giants in those days, which are like titans in Greek mythology. Also, they bore children that were mighty, that were strong. That sounds a lot like Hercules to me. What do you get immediately after all this? You get the flood. You get Noah and the whole story of Noah and the flood. And God floods the whole earth. Now, if you know Greek mythology, you'll know that there were all kinds of different creatures. There were centaurs, there were minotaurs, there were these human, half animal hybrids and stuff like that. And if those things really existed and were real, and God did not like them because they were made from angels and women, don't you think he'd destroy them with the flood? So I don't believe that these are just angels, just any kind of angels. I believe that these angels are the fallen angels that fell with Satan. Now you have to think, if you're a human and you saw an angel and he come up to you and said, I am the God of the sun, and my name is Apollo, what are you going to do? You're going to believe it because he can do all these amazing things that you can't do. So he's got to be a God, right? Job chapter 1, verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Now if the sons of God are men, just men, why are they coming with Satan? Why are they coming to present themselves before God with Satan? Men can't put themselves up to God like that, because we're not heavenly beings. We can't just go up to God and say, hey, we have a proposal for you. Job chapter 38, verses 6 through 7. Whereupon are the foundations therefore thereof fastened, or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. God is talking to Job here, and he's saying, where were you when I did all these things? And he says, when the sons of God shouted for joy, which would mean when he was creating everything and hung the stars in the sky and made the cornerstone of the earth. When he did all that, the sons of God were present for that because they were shouting with joy. The sons of God being heavenly beings. 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 through 5. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. Now, I don't think it's any coincidence that Peter says that God didn't even spare the angels that sinned. Well, where did angels sin? When in Genesis. Well, also right after that, he mentions the flood and Noah. Well, what's before Noah and the flood? The sons of God, angels that came down, fallen angels that came down and mated with women. They sinned against God. They're not supposed to do that because angels aren't supposed to marry women. Joshua chapter 24, verse 14 and 15. Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods, lowercase g, which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods, lowercase g, which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my home, we will serve the Lord, uppercase L. So Joshua says you serve the gods on the other side of the flood. Why not this side of the flood? No, the other side of the flood, which means there were gods playing gods, because it's lowercase g, which means they're not real gods. They're not God. They're not equal to God. They are gods, but they were claiming to be gods. Well, who claims to be gods other than God himself? The only place I see in history is all these other foreign gods of like the Greek mythology, Hinduism. They're all claiming to be gods, but they're all separate. They're all different things, and they're the god of this and the god of that and the god of this. Well, if you were an angel and you came down to earth, wouldn't you say, well, I'm the god of this and take over that? And the humans down here, they're going to believe you. And there's all kinds of mysteries all over the earth. I'm sure maybe some of you have seen Ancient Aliens and have seen all the things that can't be explained on this earth, of giant doors and things that have been moved that nobody could possibly move back then or anything like that. Well, why? But angels could, that were claiming to be gods. There's a whole story in Greek mythology where Zeus comes down and he pretends to be a swan and he mates with a woman as a swan. What if it's real? What if it really happened? Shapeshifters. I mean, we see the angels that Ezekiel sees. You know, they're all kinds of different creatures, and in the Bible, angels are shown to be different creatures, and they can become and look like men. So it's not far-fetched. The messed up thing is we still we don't worship these gods today, but their symbols are all over the earth. There's symbols of Hermes, there's symbols of Apollo, the sun god. There's symbols all over America and in Europe, in Italy. There's symbols of the Greek mythology all over everywhere. This is just more validity to the Bible. And when the Bible can explain things that can't be explained, it is amazing, because it shows that the Bible is real. It's not just fake. It's not just something somebody made up. It's all real. And this shows it completely. It was just a really cool message I wanted to share with all you. So that's my message. Myth or real? Remember, stay God conscious. Remember, you are somebody to him. Remember, you're forgiven. Forgive yourself. Go forgive others. Remember, you are blessed so that you can be a blessing. Go uplift somebody. Tell them about Jesus Christ and tell them it's all real. I love you all. Be blessed. Peace.